Thank you for introducing me, Dr. Yamaguchi. I'd like to thank Professor Yamaguchi and Japan Health Promotion and Fitness Foundation for giving me opportunity to present in this session. Today I'm going to talk about happy aging in the same house. These are today's contents. First, I will introduce the examples of happy aging. I'd like to introduce two active Japanese seniors who are Dr. Isuro Sobue and Mrs. Yamamoto. Dr. Sobue is president of the Japan Foundation for Aging and Health. Dr. Sobue is 98 years old. He is a medical doctor and professor emeritus at Nagoya University and IG Medical University. He was the president of IG Medical University, specialized in internal medicine and urology. Author of numerous books, including Study in the Science of Longevity and Encyclopedia of Aging and Health. His motto is be active and natural in daily life and take a walk sometimes. Dr. Sobue discusses the significance of daily habits such as nutrition, exercise, and rest, especially sleep, in his books. He also recognizes the social factors, including group activities and exchanges with various kinds of people are important. To achieve happy aging and productive aging, daily practice of those factors should be reasonably and comfortably maintained by the elderly. Next, I would like to introduce Mrs. Yamamoto. Mrs. Yamamoto is 94 years old. She grew up in Senbei, Osaka, Japan. She entered elementary school in Osaka at the age of 7. The school had a full-scale swimming pool where she had a chance to meet and learn from an Olympic swimmer. She continued to swim regularly. She became a member of a private gym and swam 2 kilometers a day on a regular basis at the age of 70. Enjoyed swimming until she had an operation on her knee at the age of 75. She started the golf because she was encouraged by her husband. Took lessons at Mizuno Golf School and played in a golf course on a regular basis until the age of 70. When she traveled to Kotojo in June 1982, she competed with a man in her tour group and beat him. He was shocked. She enjoys watching sports, professional baseball games, especially Hanshin Tigers ones. Never misses TV live broadcast of their games since 1938, when the Japanese star player Mayumi joined the team. Also watches Grand Sumo tournament, volleyball, and rugby games. Her husband was born in 1914 and he died at the age of 99 in 2013. Both of them had a long history of healthy diet, including plenty of fish and meat, and also homemade fresh vegetable juice every morning. She currently takes a class of flower arrangement. She is still healthy and active by having mild exercise and walking in daily life. Just as you saw the two active seniors, they take care of themselves by having adequate amount of exercise, nutrition, and rest. Several researchers have found that these factors consist of the background of the happy aging. In 2019, there are almost 70,000 centenarians in Japan, and there are 30 women and 1 man in the world who are super centenarians or over 110-year-olds, out of whom 13 women and 1 man are Japanese as of November 4th, 2019. This data supports the longevity of Japanese people. The characteristics of the centenarian are the level of the active protein is low, men tend to be open-minded, and women tend to have the characteristics of extraversion, openness, and conscientiousness, and they have adequate amount of exercise. Next, I will move on to an issue of frailty. In the modern society with more elderly population, it is more important to discover and prevent the frailty. Frailty is a common geriatric syndrome that embodies an elevated risk of catastrophic declines in health and function among older adults. Frailty is a condition associated with aging, and it has been recognized for centuries. Dr. Freed is one of the leading researchers in the field of frailty. There are several criteria for the frailty. However, her definition is the most adapted one. Using the widely used frailty phenotype framework proposed by Freed et al. In 2001, prevalence estimates of 7 to 16% have been reported in non-institutionalized community-dwelling older adults in the USA. A popular approach to the assessment of geriatric frailty encompasses the assessment of 5 dimensions. These 5 dimensions are unintentional weight loss, exhaustion, muscle weakness, soreness while walking, and low levels of activity. Those who meet at least 3 of the criteria are defined as frail, while those not matching any of the 5 criteria are defined as robust. As one of the measures to prevent frailty, Dr. Freed advocates the active social participation by the elderly, as well as the development of the volunteer program, including the intergenerational exchanges. She also points out the significance of the win-win relationship between the elderly and their counterpart. One of her research projects is Experience Corps. Those photos are from Experience Corps. Baltimore Experience Corps is dedicated to mobilizing the experience, wisdom, and energies of older adults from the community to address the needs of inner city elementary schools. In addition, the Baltimore Experience Corps seeks to enhance the ability of the wider community to solve collective problems by increasing the social capital available to schools and neighborhoods. Sorry, I feel a little embarrassing to share. This photo shows Professor Freed and I when I was a postdoctoral fellow at the Johns Hopkins University, USA, and she was my mentor. It was a long time ago. Now I will explain the importance of intergenerational exchanges in Japan. Communication with children and the younger generation had an impact on the physical and mental health of the elderly. Finally, I would like to talk about intergenerational studies in Japan. Dr. Yoshinori Fujiwara is one of the well-known leaders in this research area, and he was also a postdoc and my roommate at the Johns Hopkins University. His study is about a community-based social participation and health promotion pilot program named Deep Roots among the Japanese elderly. He thought it important to develop and prepare intergenerational exchange program. After he returned to Japan, he developed and launched a school-based intergenerational program with reference to Experience Corps. The Ripples program educates and engages senior volunteers in reading picture books to children in educational or community settings. Their research launched the Reprints program in 2004, collaborating with 14 local governments. The Reprints program consists of 4 activities: selecting good books, practicing performance toward children, and meeting for review. The strong point of the Reprints program is a cyclic activity for maintaining regular daily life and health. According to the research by Dr. Sakurai and Fujiwara et al., the entire program naturally leads to the increase of physical activities of the elderly participants. They actually walk 10,000 steps a day during the program. To demonstrate the merit of elderly volunteers, this slide shows transition of hippocampus volume measured with MRI for 6 years. Then they demonstrated cognitive health of protective effect on atrophy of hippocampus through long-term intergenerational program. Another research by Dr. Memoto and Fujiwara et al. Shows that an intergenerational relationship may give reciprocal merits for both older and younger generations. They conducted a population-based male survey with large samples 3 years ago. They divided younger and older subjects respectively into the 4 groups. The finding was having intergenerational interaction was actually promoting both younger and older generation in mental health. To summarize my presentation so far, several researchers have found that factors such as exercise, physical activity, and social participation, nutrition, and rest consist of the background of the happy aging. The characteristics of a centenarian are the level of active protein is low, men tend to be open-minded, and women tend to have the characteristics of extroversion, openness, and conscientiousness. They have adequate amount of exercise. Communication with children and younger generation has a positive impact on the physical and mental health of the elderly. Today, in an aging society worldwide, adequate practice of sports and physical activity is more important to realize the happy aging. I would like to conclude my presentation that intergenerational exchange is one of the key factors which can contribute to achieve the happy aging. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Uchida. You made a just interesting impulse speech. Congratulations. I'd like to make this session for active learning. That means we're going to discuss. Okay? If you have just one question, anyone have a question? No? You are shy? Okay. Can you explain, you first picked up the active seniors model and also explained frailty, and finally you emphasized intergenerational exchange. Can you just make a final last slide? You made a conclusion, okay, and you made a first conclusion. Can you explain a little more about it? Okay. So. Last one. Oh, no. Oh, conclusion. Next one. Yes. This one? Yeah.
Yes, I said the three conclusions. And the first, several researchers conducted longitudinal studies. So Dr. Fried has a budget from the National Institute of Aging in the USA. So her group conducted women's health and aging and 10 years longitudinal study. And this conclusion is based by the results of their research, and I think it is very important for this for happy aging.
Thank you very much, Professor Uchida emphasized physical activity, social participation, nutrition, and rest are the 4 important factors of happy aging. Okay, thank you very much. Please give him a big hand.